Hey there guys, what's going on? I'm Arrow in the and today we're looking at the top 10 banned cards that I believe, truthfully, will never come back into the game unless they are changed specifically in erratas. So basically, I'm saying these are the top 10 most powerful cards in the game that don't require stupid combos like Magical Scientist or Last Turn, etc. So we're looking at the objectively most powerful cards in the game. So, starting off with number 10 here. Number 10, baby. This is Imperial Order. This was released in Pharaoh's Servant, even though it isn't a Pharaoh's Servant picture. This was released in Pharaoh's Servant, which was the 4th or 5th set. It was the Jinzo set, and this was the other secret rare in it. Imperial Order negates all spells. Pretty damn good. So your opponent plays a spell. You chain Imperial Order, negates their spell. So they're already down a -1. Then, you know, they're all gone. You pay 700 life points every turn to keep it on the field. You can choose not to pay that 700. That is a thing. You can choose not to pay the 700. It's not mandatory. So at any time you want, you can turn it off. This card has been banned since, I think, the first ban list. I don't think this has ever been... Because I remember the first ban list being around 2004-ish. And I remember a huge wave of cards got banned and never came back. Imperial Order was, I'm fairly sure, one of the cards on that. In fact, most of the cards on this list have never came back. So this is Imperial Order, never came back. It's insanely strong, and that's only number 10. Just turning off your opponent's spells. I mean, turning off usually a quarter to a third of the deck's pretty good. So we're going to look at number 9 now. Number 9 is HARPIE'S Feather Duster. You know, when looking through all these cards, I was thinking, my god, I can't believe Feather Duster is only 9th. Because this card, objectively, if you look at it, is one of the strongest cards, period, ever. So, the effect of HARPIE'S Feather Duster is kill all your opponent's spell traps. Kill them all. And when you think that the objectively weaker Heavy Storm is banned, you can see how this is just like a bit more OP. And we'll see this later on in another card that we're going to look at. Not going to spoil it yet, guys! But yeah, Feather Duster is... I can't really talk about this as much because it doesn't really have combos. It's a very linear card. It's just kill your opponent's stuff. But spells and traps are much harder to kill usually. And usually killing off your opponent's back row, it's hard to come back from. I mean, MST's a thing. Mystical Space Typhoon is a thing. People play Mystical Space Typhoon. And that only kills one. This kills them all. So yeah, back row destruction is really good, and because of that, I truly don't think we'll ever see Feather Duster back unless it gets errated. So that's the thing. Alright, so we're going to look at number 8 now, and this is Graceful Charity. One of 2 drawing cards in this, well, 3 drawing cards-ish in this list. This is the lowest of the 3, and this was actually quite hard for me to rank. And also, part of me thought maybe this will get unbanned one day, but then I thought of all the combos that go with it. And I said I wouldn't go into stupid combo cards, but I'm not talking about, like, easy combos like this. I'm talking about, like, Magical Scientist, where you've got to do, like, 10 steps to get a win. But this is just draw 3 cards, which is insane in itself, then discard 2. This was banned around about the time that Dark World was a thing. Just before Perfect Circle Monarch, or during Perfect Circle Monarch in about 2007. And I don't think it came back. But this one, I think, out of the list so far, is the only one that hasn't been banned from the start. So that's cool. But because of the amount of cards now that are, when this card goes to the graveyard by a card effect, do this, like Shadol's, this card can't come back. I mean, back in the day, you didn't have many of those. In fact, I think Dark Worlds were the only ones. And because of the discarding cards is part of the effect, it's not a cost. It's draw 3 cards, then discard 2. This card would be insane in Shadol's. This would be insane in a lot of decks, an insane amount of decks. And because of that, I truly think it can never be unbanned unless it's errated somehow. Maybe I should look at how to errata these, because I mean, for Graceful Charity, I'd probably go draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. Upon resolution, you cannot activate monster effects or card effects. Or maybe like Duality. you can't special summon or attack in the turn you play it. I don't know. That's kind of a errata I'd do. Just to make it like... Because then it is kind of like just drawing 3 and discarding 2 and just cycling through the deck as opposed to getting really big combos off. So that's graceful. So let's move on to our next one, which would be number... Wait, what are we at? 10, 9, 8. This would be number 7, and this is Confiscation. And a lot of people will think, what the fuck, Shane? Confiscation? You put this on the list? The reason I put this on the list is because it's really fucking good. I think this was one of the original banned cards. No, it was not one of the original banned cards. I am incorrect there. Delinquent Duo was banned, and I'm fairly sure Forceful Sentry was banned, but Confiscation was not. Because they were the big 3 back in the day. They were, if you open those, you basically win the game. But Confiscation is a amazing card. If you open this card and you get to go first, you basically win the game. Pay 1,000 life points, look at your opponent's hand, select one card, discard it. It's like insane, especially with Mind Crushes around now. I mean, it's just like you can see your opponent's hand and then Mind Crush the rest. But being able to play around your opponent's stuff and get rid of their best card is insane. The only problem with this card is if you draw it late game, it's a bit of a dead draw, but hey, whatever. And I said earlier about like worse cards being banned. Trap Dust Shoot is banned, and that's look at your opponent's hand when they have 4 or more cards in their hand and then send a monster back to their deck. That card is banned and is objectively way worse than Confiscation, and I'm talking way worse. So Confiscation, personally, I think will not come back off the list unless it's errated. The next one is an insane card in itself, just getting it up. It's Painful Choice. This would be our number 6 slot, would it be? I'm just trying to count. I'm sorry, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, this is 6. Painful Choice. I went through a lot of where this should be in the list because Painful Choice is stupid. Painful Choice is really stupid. Especially now. I mean, back in the day it was stupid. Basically being able to drop what you want and getting a card to your hand. Basically you drop Sinister Serpent and other things and hope. Basically they have to give you Sinister Serpent. And then you're happy because you've got Sinister Serpent and you can use it to discard and stuff. Now, if you use this with Shaddolls, yeah, that would be stupid. You just pick 5 Shaddolls, you drop 4 of them to the grave, and your opponent gives you 1 to your hand. So you don't even lose a card. So Painful Choice, I just can't see it being as strong as the next 5 cards. And the next 5 cards are stupid, so please, just bear with me here. So Painful Choice, really stupid. Select 5 cards from your decks and send 4 of them to the graveyard, and your opponent chooses 1 to put to your hand. So that's a thing. So number 5. And I wanted to put this higher, but it just isn't as impactful. Number 5 is Pot of Greed. It's pretty simple. Draw 2 cards. I mean, it's just objectively... I've gone through phases of thinking it's the best card ever made. Just because drawing cards is so hard. And just objectively just 2 cards. Free 2 cards. Turns your deck into a 38 card deck. Put them with Upstart Goblins, turns your deck into a 35 card deck. So that's a thing. And you get a +1. So Pot of Greed, not much to say about it except, you know, it's a thing. So we're going to go on to stupid cards now. This card, I'm just going to get it up right now. This card, guys, was legal about 2 years ago. This card was originally released in Japan in the early 2000s, and we did not get it until 2013, 2012. So declare 2 numbers from 1 to 6. Your opponent rolls a dice. If the number is one of the numbers, draw that many cards. So if you pick 5 and 6, you have a 1 in 3 chance of drawing 5 or 6 cards. So basically, we just talked about Pot of Greed being amazing because it draws 2 cards. It allows you to draw 5 or 6 cards. And if you get 1 or 4, 1 to 4, send that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. So that's not bad. You got Shaddolls, they go to the grave. Stuff you want to... I mean, so much stuff happens because you get stuff into the grave. Sixth Sense is insane. It won so many games. It was the stupidest thing. They just wanted to sell packs. And then they banned it. So that was a thing. Alright, so we're on to our top 3 cards. And these were actually very hard for me to... list. But for me... Number 3 is this fucker. It is Fiber Jar. And this is stupid. This card is stupid. Flip effect. Each player shuffles his hand, field, and graveyard into the deck and draws 5 cards. Basically, other than the turn that you're on, life points, and the amount of summons, your normal summon and stuff, this restarts the game. This card was banned immediately, as soon as the first ban list came in, and was never seen again. And it's the same for the next 2 cards, by the way, just saying. So that's Fiber Gel. Let's move on to number 2. And I really wanted to put this at number 1 because it's objectively my favourite card ever. And in my opinion, could be number 1. I'm not sure because I don't know about it. But this is YATA-GARASU. And, oh god, YATA-GARASU. If you guys weren't around in 2003 playing the game, you won't understand how horrible this card is. So Yata is a spirit, so it goes back to your hand every turn after you summon it. When it deals life point damage, I think it's by a direct attack. No, it's just battle damage. When it attacks direct, basically, because it's got 200 attacks, it's not going to battle over anything. When it hits direct, your opponent skips the next draw phase. And you know, when I read this for the first time, I was like, whatever. Then I saw it played. And the amount of times I saw someone just win the game with Yata, you win with Yata. If you... Alright, so your opponent's got a clear field, and you just attack with Yata. They have to have a response. It goes back to your hand, and then they don't draw. And then they've got a turn with the cards that they have in their hand and their field to deal with your Yata. And sometimes they just don't. I mean, if they've got Regeki, useless. Dark Hole, useless, because it goes back to your hand. If they've got Bottomless, it's useless. There's so many cards that are just like, you know, people use, and if they've got Maxi in their hand, let's say. You can have 4 or 5 cards, like, on your field and around it, and still lose to Yata, because he'll lock you in. And people don't realise this. People are like, oh, Yata is stupid, it's stupid. And if you get your opponent down to 0 cards and you attack them, they're done. It's over. It's literally over. Unless you've got stupid graveyard effects or something. But yeah, this card wins games. This card is objectively stupid. There is a card called Time Seal. It is a trap. And its effect is your opponent skips the next draw phase. And it is banned. And not only does it once, and to loop that would be insanely tough and difficult with like Mask of Darkness and Tsukiyomi. That would be really hard. Yata does it every turn. So that's insane. Alright, so we're going to look at the final card, guys. Are you ready? If you don't know what this card is, if you don't guess what my number 1 is going to be, then I guess you don't know that much about old Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the number 1 card, and this has been errated recently, so we will be seeing it back, I think. It is Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. So this is Blackluster Soldier's big dragony brother, who basically shat on an entire format. Not even a format, an entire everything. To the point where they were like, shit, we've got to start banning cards. Seriously, this was the last set before a ban list came out. Invasion of Chaos was the last list before any ban list. I think Soul of the Duelist came out after that, and that's when they brought in Ultimate Rares and they had a ban list. Chaos Emperor Dragon was around for a little while. The Yatta, Witch of the Black Forest, Sangan, and Chaos Emperor Dragon instant wing combo is insane. But let's just look at this as an objectively just on its own card. So you can pay 1,000 life points. It's got the same summoning conditions as Blackluster, so Remove Light in the Dark, and you got it. Pay 1,000 life points, send everything to the graveyard. Hands and field to the graveyard. Your opponent takes 300 for everything. The amount of times I've seen people take like 3,000-ish damage, 4,000-ish damage just from that effect. And it resets the game. So if you're ahead, you can burn them for... like, you can attack direct and then use it. If you're behind, use it to reset the game and get it to top decking. Use it with... you know, you got Sangan on the field, use Chaos Emperor Dragon, Sangan goes to the grave. Usually you'll get Yatta and attack the game, because then they'll have 0 cards in hand. You'll just Yatta lock them. Even if that doesn't work, get Injection Fairy Lily, attack for 3,400 on top. I don't know, there's stupid things like that where you just want to hit direct. So Chaos Emperor Dragon is number 1 on my cards that will not come back without an errata, although it has an errata, and it's still kind of good. I'll play it. So this is my list, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Fun. See ya!